Hello everyone. Today we have a new kit reveal, always my favorite. Today is another ego and an ID, which is interesting because we've been getting those more lately instead of the usual 2 IDs. But I'm very excited for this one. Not just because I think the ID and the ego are super cool, but also because I think it is a good indicator that soon in the near future we will be getting the warp train event, which I think will be really fun to see how the crew handles that particular thing. So yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten Charge ID. Charge, of course, for those that have been in the game with the game since vanilla, will know that Charge was the most overpowered team by far. Like, Charge comp was so good that it cleared everything, and it was kind of a decent amount better than every other team comp that we had at the time, besides a pure just, you know, unga bunga, throw all the most powerful IDs in the team and call it a day. That used to be able to get away with, and you still can now, but to less effect. But the Charge team kind of took a back seat. Not that it was bad, mind you, or that it got. I mean, it did kind of get power crept, but Charge has still always been good. It's just now not the best option. Forgive me for that. Alarm, blah. So what I'm thinking in comparison is, like, think of the Blade Lineage team. Like, the Blade Lineage team right now is how old Charge was. Where, like, yep, this full team just clears everything very consistently. It's incredibly strong, and with the right amount of investment, you literally can just win rate everything and you'll probably be fine. But Charge hasn't been able to do that too much, especially with IDs such as Ryoshu and Don Quixote, which, if you don't frickin' play those manually, they will just kill themselves with their big skills. But I digress. With all that in mind, I'm happy to see what Outis adds to the lineup, and maybe we can bring Charge back into the meta. I will say, as part of the update that I read the patch notes, we will be getting, for the first time, Charge potency. So Charge has been buffed, and they have completely changed how Charge works, which is the first time they've done this for a buff or debuff. I mean, well, from this point of view, yes. Before you say, like, well, Tremor gets changed all the time. Like, okay, yes, Tremor, the black flame or the blue flame for the burn IDs, yes, that all counts. But, like, this is one of the few times they've changed the core buff itself. Just Charge as a whole has been changed by this. They have not introduced a new variant of Charge. It is just completely changed to now work on a potency basis instead of just having the same decay rate and, you know, that whole thing. But with all that in mind, let's actually get to the kit reveal. I've been prattling for too long. Okay, so for Corp Outis, we have Skill 1, Skill 2, Skill 3, a Pride, Envy, and Gloom. That is I love that lineup. That is a great lineup for Fluid Sack. 2 coins in the Skill 1, 2 coins in the Skill 2, and a 4-coin Skill 3. You know I enjoy those. First we have Ripple. Blunt. On use, gain X plus charge count, gain base power. You don't see that too often. On use, gain clash power for every X charge count, and then gain charge count. And then on hit, gain charge count. Yep, that's pretty much all you want from a Skill 1. Just generates your buffs and clash well. I don't think there's any problems with that one. Nice, easy, simple, good to go. Charged Leap, though, for the Skill 2. On use, consumes X charge count on self to gain coin power. So the Skill 2 could consume charge. Okay. If this unit consumed charge count, apply charge plus 0 charge barrier to self and 2 other allies with the least charge count. Okay. I was gonna say, like, having a Skill 2 consume charge count, it better be good. Yeah, no, that's pretty good already. Just not only giving you coin power, but also spreading charge barrier is really good. On use, gain more charge count, so you're making back what you're spending almost, maybe. We'll see the ratios there. And then on the first hit, gain charge count, and on the second hit, gain charge count, inflict bind if this skill consumes charge. Inflict bind next turn too. Okay. All around, that is a very solid skill. Bind is beginning better and better now that we have more methods of manipulating enemies' turn meter. Not turn meter. We have changing their enemy's speed. We can affect that. So bind has been very, very useful, and especially with some of those bosses in Mirror Dungeon or similar that can roll like 5 and up on the speed. Yeah, no, having a bit of bind just makes a lot of the headache go away for those fights. So yeah, it's good. And of course, spreading charge barrier, adding more survivability to the team, always good. Now, this is of course the one we're all thinking of. The skill 3 4-coin Rip Dimension. Combat start. To self and highest resonance allies with charge, apply load equal to charge on self. Okay, new buff. Okay, like to see it. At X plus charge and Y to Z charge count, consume all charge count to gain coin power. Yep, just like Ryoshu, just like Don Quixote. And then on use, consume X charge count to gain coin power. It doesn't consume health. Hey, look at that. This one doesn't consume health, even though it's the nuke skill. That's really great. This means you can actually win rate and it won't screw you over. I mean, still you want to play it manually so you can get the most efficiency out of it, but hey, that's nice. I'll take it. And then first hit, inflict rupture. Second hit, inflict rupture. Third hit, inflict rupture. Fourth hit, if the skill used X charge count, inflict rupture, and then gain X minus charge count. Yeah, nice. I see this doing a lot of damage. You're going to apply a lot of rupture, which means more damage added on top of it. You're going to get your charge back. You're going to have basically a new buff coming on, load equal to charge count, whatever that is. We'll find out soon enough. And then, yeah, you're going to be bouncing between your skill 2 and your skill 3, getting charge barriers spread out there, and then inflicting rupture on the enemy. This is going to be really good for charge teams. This could be a really great addition, but we're not even done with the kit yet. So first we have the defense skill, Deploy Plasma. It is a pride skill. On use, gain base power for every charge count on self, and then gain charge count. Very solid. Again, they've been doing better with the shield skills as of late, so hey, maybe this one will be solid too. Passive though, overcharge / cleanup order. Gain charge every time this unit consumes X cumulative charge in this encounter. Gain charge every time this unit consumes charge in this encounter. Wow. So I was thinking, you know, the built-in regaining charge in the skills was good enough. Like, oh, that's nice. You're making back what you lost. Your passive is also doing that. Like, that, she could be a charge neutral or charge positive character, possibly, with how much she's making back with her skills. And going charge neutral is insanely strong for those IDs. If you could go charge neutral on Don Quixote and Ryoshu, they would be insanely broken. And they are in Mirror Dungeon, when you can get things that give you charge like every turn and like basically cap you out. You just spam those nuke skills and they blow things up. And then that's not even the end of it. Turn end, apply clash power up next time to charge W Corp employees, including this unit, in reverse deployment order. Up to charge, which is not that hard to get as a threshold. Are you telling me that at the end of every turn, she can put a clash power up on the whole team as long as she has 5 or 6 charge? That is crazy good of a buff to that team. Yeah, no, I was thinking, like, as I was reading the kit, I was like, yeah, no, it seems kind of okay, but is it really going to change the meta for charge? Yes, that does. That does change the meta. My god. Just... Oh, team-wide Clash power up. And I doubt this is the only new W Corp ID we're getting, so it'll probably only get crazier as in the coming weeks here. But we'll see. We'll see. We got like four or five for time killing, so god, I can only imagine. Are we gonna get a charge ID for every member of the Limbus crew? I mean, I'd love to see it. I guess we'll find out, but damn, that's sick. And then support passive, refraction. One ally who has the most charge count at turn start, deal more damage with skills that consume X charge count. Yes, again, very good passive, but at what point are you not going to be running Outis in your charge lineup? I mean, maybe if you're doing like a W Corp Ryoshu in the Ishmael team, the Captain Ishmael team, that actually does work very well because it just buffs like her nuke skill and how much damage she's doing with her charge stuff. So if you're only using like Don Quixote and Ryoshu, maybe throwing Yisang in there too, but usually it's just those two. You throw this in, they do more damage in general, everybody's happy. But I imagine you do want her on the field just because of how insane she is for charge, but you know, it's nice to have. And then finally, I've been thinking about this the whole time, load. And that's a cool looking icon for load there. I like it. Attack skills that consumed charge count deal X% more damage for every value on self. So a flat damage increase on charge skills. You know, stacking damage on damage. We'd love to see it. It's really great. Which she will be applying charge to allies and herself. So this is a buff she will be spreading. So they will be dealing more damage. If Don Quixote and Ryoshu get this buff, oh my god, their nuke skills are going to do crazy stuff. If the affected unit is a W Corp employee, deal even more damage for every value instead. So it just works in general. Say you have things that give charge, but you don't have the IDs that give charge. But if Outis is on the field, doesn't matter if they're not a charge AD, they're still going to be doing extra damage if they have charge count. And it does expire at the end of the turn. Okay. So this is a... you get it and then you spend it immediately. You get your load and then you immediately unload right after with a big attack. Because it ends at it does at the start of your does so at the end of your turn. So sadly there's no real like way to coordinate trying to like line up your nuke skills perfectly with a ton of like load and then, you know, get one giant turn, but something tells me it's not going to be a big issue. Something tells me this is just going to stomp stuff in general. Forgive me for yawning. It's still early in the morning. But that is W Corp Cleanup Captain Outis. Very happy with this ID. Very cool. Love the effects. They really went ham on her skill abilities. And, you know, after the year of, oh my god, another charge ID? Really? It's nice to see them making a return, I will say. Alright, but we do have one more thing to go over, because there is an ego included with this, and it's one that I am very excited for, because it is just so cool. We have a Fell Bullet Heathcliff. Oh god, it's so cool. I love the marksman stuff, the rifle stuff, the shooting into the glyphs and sigils and the bullet teleports, and it's so cool. So cool thematically. I'll use it. Even if it's not the strongest thing on Heathcliff, I still want to use it because it's just that cool. But it is a Teth, which is good. A little bit lower on the chain there, so it should be usable more frequently. 4 attack, Gain highest resonance plus X torn memory. That's dope sounding. If it was an A resonance, gain highest resonance plus Y torn memory instead. Gain poise for every torn memory. Gain poise count. After attack, lose torn memory. On the second hit, deal more damage on critical hit for every torn memory. On hit, inflicts bleeding. On crit, inflicts sinking. On crit, kill. If this unit has the ammo effect, gain ammo? Oh my lord. Wow. I'm just going to bounce down to the passive right now. Crush Pendant. Combat start at X plus highest resonance. Gain poise. Torn memory used for certain skills. Did they just make this ego for Rabbit Heathcliff? Did they just make an entire ego just for one ID? Because this is just built for him. This is gonna make Rabbit Heathcliff, like, it might bring him back into the fold as a meta damage dealer. I mean, that might be a bit extreme to say, but like, think about it. This gives you poise. It allows Rabbit Heathcliff to now, like, crit. Dealing more damage on a critical hit on this ego. Inflicting bleed, inflicting sinking, which is nice and all, but the fact that on a kill, this regains ammo. No longer having to get the very awful Uptie 4 for Rabbit Heathcliff. You can just use this to reach in his ammo, because admittedly, this Uptie 4 is bad. Because you only get the ammo at the start of each wave, which is like basically useless for boss fights, which is like where he struggled because either you had to kill the thing before he ran out of ammo, or you were basically using half an ID past the first couple minutes of a fight. You know. So I think this is exactly what Rabbit Heathcliff needed, but it is still crazy to me to have, like, yeah, no, just the fact that this entire ego is just synergizing with one of his IDs. I mean, of course, is it gonna hurt to use it on other egos? Not at all. Like, an on-crit kill is a little tough, like, to manage. Like, you do have to kind of roll the dice there and hope that you're getting that crit kill on the enemy. On the second hit as well. So it's not like broken or anything, but if you can get the effect off, if you can get the ammo regen, if it means you can pop more, you know, pop more nukes as Rabbit Heathcliff, I could definitely see him coming back into the fold, and I would be happy to see it. I love Rabbit Heathcliff. He carried me super hard in the early game. And even into the mid game, and I had him on my charge team. Of course, as more IDs came out, he has been kind of power crept in a lot of ways. Though I think the railway reminded people of the power of Rabbit Heathcliff. But yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. I mean, I was going to use the ego anyway, just for the effects, and not really care that much about what it actually did, but this, I dig it. It's really cool. And then finally, the corrosion skill, since I haven't gone over it yet, just for posterity's sake. Targets randomly, of course. For the attack, gain highest resonance plus X torn memory. If it was A resonance, gain highest res plus Y torn memory instead. Gain attack weight for every X torn memory. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. That's a big deal, actually. So I was wondering, yeah, no. This is an ego you want to corrode, or you want to, yeah, you want to corrode this ego, or not corrode, overclock. Don't try to corrode your egos, please, unless you're soloing. No. Overclock this ego, because yeah, just gaining flat attack weight immediately makes the value so much better. Because now, because you get it on torn memory, you gain torn memory just by doing your resonance. So basically pop the overclock, do a chain of resonance, and then I don't know, it might get like 3, 4, 5 attack weight, you know? That's great. That's insanely good. Turns us into a giant AoE of a ego, and you know, it's really I do love seeing egos that their overclock / corrosion like has a different niche than the base ego does, besides just doing more damage or being not as good. So this is one where actually you should overclock it, and you deal more damage for every torn memory. You gain poise for every torn memory. You deal more damage for every X poise on self. You consume the poise, and then you lose every torn memory, and then you inflict both bleeding and sinking on the coin. Yeah, no. This one, I'm really digging it. I really dig it. I mean, I was gonna use it anyway, because, of course. But really cool stuff. Really happy to see it. Was not expecting the buff to Rabbit Heathcliff, honestly, but here we are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and otherwise, brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I am really interested if we're going to be getting more... how many more W Corp IDs we'll be getting in the near future. I also expect an ego or two mixed in. Besides that, and what the new charge team is going to look like. Because Outis is definitely on. You can definitely take out, like, W Corp Mersault or something similar, because Outis is the GOAT. Well, of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt. We'll still need to see, but for right now, that's my prediction. So, thank you all so much for coming, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!